Because they're advanced, they're in pre-algebra. You all are in math 7. Okay, before we get started today, come on, close the Chromebooks. We're paying attention up here. We're going to go again over solving equations. Today we're going to do 3-step equations. So, what is the opposite of addition? Subtraction. What's the opposite of division? What's the opposite of subtraction? Adding, and then what's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So, our whole goal, okay, our whole goal in solving all equations is to isolate the x, to get the x alone. Okay, that's the whole goal. So when I'm looking at this problem here, I want the x to be completely alone. So what do I do? I would add 3 because I always look at the side the x is on. I've got an x and a minus 3. So I want to do the opposite to get rid of it. So minus 3, I add 3. And whatever I do to one side, I'm doing that to the other side. And I get 8. And then I check it. 8 minus 3. What is that? 5. Okay, what about this problem right here? I look at the side that the x is on, multiply. And I multiply because this is x divided by 2, so that's why I multiply by 2. So that leaves me with x, and 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, so those are some 1-step equations. Now let's look at some 2-step. Okay. This one, we talked about these like for 2 days last week. When I solve a 2-step equation, the first thing I do is I undo the addition or the subtraction. So I'm looking at the side that the x is on. Andy, do I have any addition or subtraction in this one? What is, I have subtraction, I have a subtract 6. So the opposite would be to add 6. So 1 to each side. So minus 6 plus 6 are opposites, and we're not going to put 0 there. We're just going to put a line through them to say that they're gone. So that leaves me with 4x equals 10 plus 6 is 16. So step 1, undo addition or subtraction. Step 2, undo the multiplication or the division. So I'm looking at the side the x is on. What operation is this? Multiplication. So the opposite would be to divide. So I'll divide by 4. So 4 divided by 4 is just 1x, which is x, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. All right, we're going to check this out loud together, so let's listen. My x is 4. So what is 4 times 4? And what's 16 minus 6? 10. Got it right. Okay. Let me do one more like that. Let's do 5 equals x over 3 plus 7. All right, so first thing I do is I look at the side that the x is on, and I undo the addition or the subtraction. So do I have addition or subtraction? Yeah. What? I have addition. I have plus 7. So I undo that by minusing 7. So whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. So 7 minus 7 is 0. So I have x over 3 equals 5 minus 7, which is negative 2. And then I still look at the side that the x is on. Do I have multiplication or division here? Division. So the opposite would be to multiply. Since this is x divided by 3, I'm going to multiply by 3. So 3 divided by 3 cancels out. And 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And you can check this one as well. What is negative 6 divided by 3? Negative 2. And what's negative 2 plus 7? 5. So that's right. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to look at some 3-step today. If you can do a 2-step, you will have no issues today. We need no goofing off, no sleeping. We really need to pay attention because we're going to work on this today and tomorrow. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to start reviewing, and we're going to have a test on Friday. Our test is a big deal because it's the last opportunity for you to bring up your grade. Yeah. Huh? Okay. So today's notes is about multi-step equations with the distributive property. So the first thing that we're going to do before we get into this is we're going to review what the distributive property is. So the distributive property applies to equations just like it does to expressions. And last week, or I guess the past couple weeks, we spent a lot of time on distributing. And distributing is what operation? Multiplying. Okay? And what do I have to see in order to know to distribute? Parentheses. I have to see parentheses, and that's what tells me to distribute. So looking at these three problems up here, all three of these are distributing because they all have parentheses. And I know that distributing is multiplying because the number is right up against the parentheses. So that signifies to us that it's understood multiplication. Okay? All right, so on this first one right here, this is 4 times 2x plus 9, right? So I'm going to distribute that 4. So let's all watch. So 4 times 2x. So what is 4 times 2? 8. So 8x. And then 4 times positive 9. Positive 36. So that's distributing. All right, the next one. A refresh here with this distributing a negative number. So negative 3 times positive 7 is negative 21. Come on, people. Negative 3 times negative 4x. Positive 12x. And then these we're not solving because they're not equal to anything. All right, and like I said, I don't care if you all use a calculator on this stuff. So like this next one, when you're distributing a 1.5, use the calculator. Take 1.5 times negative 4 and 1.5 times negative 6. It's fine. You'll get to use a calculator on the test. All right, so on this one, 1.5 times negative 4x. Negative 6x. And 1.5 times negative 6. Negative 9. And I know that because 1.5 is 3 halves. And I know that 3 halves times 6 is 9. Right, so that's distributing. And they're going to put that in with your two-step equations. And question here, before we get started in this. How do you know what to do first in math in general? Parentheses, because that is what, Demi? PEMDAS, okay? So I'm always going to do parentheses first, and then I'm going to start doing the opposite of addition and subtraction and the opposite of multiplication and division. Okay, I'm going to change some of these steps right here, so make sure you're listening. All right, step 1 is going to be to distribute first. And guys, we won't get to exponents and equations probably until you're in algebra 2. So, okay, so we're always going to distribute first. So that's where we're going to do the parentheses. After we distribute, we're going to combine like terms if it's necessary. We'll do a couple like that tomorrow where we combine like terms, but probably not today. How do we get to that? All right, then I don't like these notes, so we're going to change them. So we're going to say after we combine like terms, we're going to undo the addition and subtraction. And then we're going to add another step 4. After that, we're going to undo the multiplication and division. Just like we've been saying. Adding that on. All right, so I'm going to do about 4 problems in front of you all, and then I'm going to let you all try some on your own. Make sure that you're paying attention, asking questions. If I do something you don't understand, raise your hand and say, hey, can you go over that again? Or, hey, I'm not really sure why you did that. Can you explain that? Things like that so that you're really getting these, okay? For a second to get caught up on this part, and then we'll go for it. Okay. All right, so number 1, the directions just say solve each of the following multi-step equations. So they don't tell you to distribute first. They don't tell you to combine like terms. They don't tell you to undo whatever. You have to know these steps by heart, okay? So step 1 is to distribute first. Okay, so when I look at this equation, I see the parentheses, so that's how I know I'm supposed to distribute. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so I'm going to distribute this 4. So 4 times 5x is 20x. 4 times 6 is 24. And now it's just a 2-step equation. So like what we've been doing. We're not going to have any like terms today, so we're going to skip over that step. So we're going to move to step 3. After I distribute, I look at the side that the x is on. Do I have any addition or subtraction to undo? Yes, Ms. Wilson, I have a plus 24. I need to undo that first. So how would I undo a plus 24? Minus 24. And I would do it once from each side of the equal sign. So 24 minus 24 is gone. So I still have 20x equals, now 12 minus 24, that's negative 12. And then the last step, I undo the multiplication or division. So on this x, is it being multiplied or divided by that 20? It's being multiplied, that's 20 times x. So the opposite would be to divide by 20. And this is the part where you would use your calculator. So negative 12 divided by 20, negative 12 divided by 20, enter. Negative 0.6. We can check them later, but. And when you type it in on your calculator, you do not always take the bigger number divided by the smaller number. You take whatever's on top and divide it by what's on the bottom. On your calculator, yep. All right, let's check out number 2 here. Oh, on number 2, I see parentheses, which tells me I need to distribute first. Okay, so I'm going to distribute that 6. Now, before I do that, how many x's is this? That's like a 1x. So if they don't put a number in front of it, it's a 1. Okay, so then I distribute that 6 in there. Seamus, pay attention. So that's 6 times 1x. So what is 6 times 1x? 6x. And 6 times what? Negative 5, which is negative 30. Because that was 6 times negative 5. And now it's just a 2-step equation. Okay, so I look at the side that the x is on. Okay, Andy, do I have any addition or subtraction? Yes, what do I have? I've got a minus 30. So Angel G, what would be the opposite? Adding. yeah, so I've got a minus 30, so I'm undoing the subtraction by adding 30. So negative 30 plus 30 is 0. They cancel out. Remember, we're not writing 0 there. We're just putting the line through them. So that leaves me with 6x equals, and then 18 plus 30 is 48. And then I'll divide by 6. And I'm dividing because that's 6 times x. And to get x alone, I do the opposite. So I divide by 6, and x equals 8. All right, so number 3. What do I see first? Parentheses, which tells me I need to distribute first. Okay? So this is a negative 3 that I'm going to distribute. So make sure when you're multiplying, you say negative 3. So negative 3 times positive 2x is negative 6x. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. And once again, you can always use the calculator to check your math there. Hopefully we'll all have our own calculators for our test Friday. Okay. Are there any questions about the distributing part? All right, and then now I look at it and I ask myself, okay, undo the addition and subtraction. Do I have addition or subtraction? Yeah. Yes, Ms. Wilson, I have a plus 12. So Braylon, what am I going to do? I subtract 12 because it's a plus 12. So the opposite of adding is subtracting. So 12 minus 12 is gone. So that leaves me with negative 6x equals 18 minus 12, which is 6. Jackson, T. Sure? Negative 1. It's negative 1, yeah. All right, because now what's the last step that I'm going to do, Jackson? Divide by, what's it being multiplied? Negative 6. So I'm going to divide by negative 6. That sign in front is the sign that it keeps, so it stays with it. So I divide by negative 6. So x equals 6 divided by negative 6 is negative 1. Negative. Okay. All right, we're going to check some answers here. All right, so if I want to check my answer on number 2, this 8 is going to go in for the x, okay? So I'm going to do 6 times 8 minus 5. So all I did was take my 8 and plug it in for my x. And what am I going to hope this equals? 18. I'm hoping it's equal to 18 because that's what it's supposed to equal. All right, so down here, order of operations, say I do the parentheses first, right? So what is 8 minus 5? 3, and that's 3 times the 6, so that's 6 times that, and what is 6 times 3? Hey, look how smart I am. That is 18, that's what it's supposed to be. All right, let's do number 3, let's check it. So I'm going to take this negative 1, and I'm going to put it back in for the x. So that's negative 3 times 2 times, and because this is 2x, so it's 2 times negative 1 minus 4. Plugging it back in. What am I hoping it's going to equal? 18. And hey guys, if you have a calculator, I am totally okay if you just typing that in and hitting enter to make sure it equals that. Okay? But you have to type it in exactly as I wrote it. All right, order of operations say I first need to do what's in the parentheses. In the parentheses, I multiply before I subtract. So 2 times negative 1, that's negative 2 minus 4. And that is negative 2 minus 4, that's negative 6. So what is negative 3 times negative 6? It is positive 18, which is what I wanted it to be. All right, are there any questions on those 3 before we move to the back? Okay. All right, so we're going to kind of skip around here. I want you all to do number 9 first. That one's just a regular 2-step equation. It does come out as a decimal or fraction, so if you want to grab a calculator, there's still 6 of them up there. All right, so on number 9, do I have parentheses to distribute? No, so I don't have to do step 1, I don't have to distribute. We don't have any like terms because we're not going to talk about that today. So the next step is to undo the addition or the subtraction. So do I have addition or subtraction? What do I have? I have minus 9, okay? So what is the opposite of minus 9? Addition, so I'm going to add the 9. 1's to each side of my equal sign. So minus 9 plus 9 is 0. They cancel out. So I still have negative 2x on that side. Negative 4 plus 9 is 5. And then the last step is to undo the multiplication or the division. So this one is multiplication, Miss Wilson. Thanks for asking. And then the opposite of multiplying by negative 2 is dividing by what? No, negative 2. Divide by negative 2. So 5 divided by negative 2 is negative 2.5. And you can leave it as negative 5 halves. That's the same, negative 5 over 2. All right, why don't you all try number 5? This thing came out to be a whole number. Right? Yeah.
Distribute first. Times. And you ask yourself, do I have addition? I have subtraction, so I'm going to add. And this is right there. Did you distribute that? Distribute first, and we'll plug that in. Yeah. Did you distribute first? Yeah, remember that was two of them. Two upstairs, and so two first. So you know 2 times negative 2 times 4. Distribute 2 times 3. 2 times negative 2. So you have to distribute that. Right. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay. Remember every time because right on the one side. The other side.
Wouldn't it be 5 people? Let me eat this.
That's perfect.
Hey,
Four
we're
goes
not
over here. That's plus 4 goes over here. Then cross it out. Well, what is 2 times negative 2? 2 is.
I do not
Distribute.
eat.
2 times negative 2.
I keep the orange. He still eats it. Yeah,
Okay, guys. All right, so we talked about how if we see parentheses, that's what we do first. So I multiply that in there. Pay attention. We're about half and half in here. Half of us got it perfect. The other half had no idea how to start it. Okay? So 2 times 3x. What's 2 times 3? 6 is 6x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So I distributed first. After I distribute, just like all other two-step equations, cover up the side that the x is not on. Do I have addition or subtraction? Subtraction, I have a minus 4, so the opposite would be to add 4, once to each side. So minus 4 plus 4 is gone. Let me turn on. So that's 6x equals 26 plus 4 is 30. And then I'll divide by 6 to get x all the way by itself. And 30 divided by 6 is 5. All right, what? 26 plus 4.
Oh, I didn't even look. Wait, you got the 4?
Because I did 2 times -2 and got the minus -4.
I mean, I would have got that, but like, I was not on the right track.
Okay.
I didn't know how to do it. I forgot after.
All right, let's try number 8. So make sure you do that distributing first.
This was probably home.
You haven't even. I do, but you haven't even.
I didn't have that song like that. So baby.
Distribute first.
When did it become a positive? Whoa. What? Where's the calculator? Mine's broken.
This is negative 20 times.
Whoa.
I get rid of
Yeah. No, it's not. You just see the color. Wait, did you get a lollipop? It's in the sunlight. I've only had a phone. That's the phone that's together. Okay. Okay, this one. But I don't want to come up. The lollipop is given first. No, Miss Morton gave us that.
All right, we're gonna talk about this just because a lot of us are having issues on what to do first after we distribute. So 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times -2x is -10x. Okay, so I always say that we undo the addition or the subtraction first, but this one's written backwards. Okay, the x term's not written first like it normally is. It's written second. So real quick, this is 20, and this is -10 times x. So I undo the thing that's being added or subtracted to the x term, which means I need to undo the 20 first. This is a positive 20, so I'm going to subtract 20. And that'll leave me with the x term equals -34. Because this x term always has to be left. Then I can do the opposite to get the x term by itself. So that one was just a little bit tricky. So I'm going to divide by -10. And x equals -34 divided by -10 is positive 3.4. All right, this will be our last one. We're going to not do number 7. We're going to kind of scribble it out here. And let's just do... All right, do this one right here. I scribbled it out and rewrote it. This will be our last one that we end on. Do the one that I have a big star on, the big black star. Number 7, but it's a different number 7. Yeah.
And now undo the addition subtraction. Undo the addition subtraction. Here, this one now up there. This one subtraction.
And I do that.
Yep. Do the math. And then what is it? Give it negative. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, like, but if he doesn't, then I'll go on the phone. I already know. Yeah, I had a, Ethan, I see him.
All right, real quick, I'm gonna speed through this, and then I'll let you go. All right, so 2 times 5x is 10x.
Yeah.
2 times 8 is 16. And then I undo the addition and the subtraction. So I have a plus 16, I subtract it. So that's 10x equals negative 30. That same sign, add and keep. Divide by 10. And x equals negative 3. All right, you all have a good lunch.
Have a good weekend.
A good weekend. I'll see you tomorrow. What's up? See ya.